Hi everyone, John Cottrell here of MBODY Yoga. This is a power hour practice. Yes, a 60-minute power vinyasa yoga practice. Thanks for being here. So we are going to be jumping right into our practice. And this is what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be focusing on hamstrings. So a lot of lengthening, stretching during our practice. And so I've designed a nice dynamic flow or a vinyasa flow that will take us through a sequence of different postures that will work on our legs and with a specific focus on our hamstrings. So again, welcome. Now for our props, you don't need to have too many props for this practice. I like to use a couple of blocks. I've got some yoga blocks here. I've got two, one is fine. Mine are kind of thin, so if you've got a thicker one, great. You don't have to have yoga blocks. But just a nice handy tool. If you don't have yoga blocks specifically, you can grab even like a small cushion, a pillow, rolled up towel or blanket, a couple of dictionaries, something stackable, okay? And I think that's it. You might want to have a strap since we're going to be stretching and lengthening hamstrings. We'll be doing at least one pose where we'll be lengthening our hamstrings, and so having a yoga strap can come in handy. All right. With that being said, let's go ahead and start in mountain pose. I'm going to start facing you, and of course I'll be turning in different directions so you can see different perspectives of the practice. So again, starting in mountain pose with your feet about hip distance apart, toes are pointing forward. You just want to just roll your shoulders up and down, back and forth, and take some deep breath just to help settle into your own body, make your way into this space. So you might breathe in deeply through your nose. You can exhale through your nose or through your mouth. And feel yourself come to this moment. Then just come back to stillness. Being aware of your breathing. Slow, steady breaths in and out. You want to breathe in a way where you can feel your breath. So you might even feel your breath rising upward to fill your lungs. As you exhale, you'll draw navel inward towards your spine just to engage your core muscles. You want to breathe so that you can hear your breath. So if you need to, just turn up the volume of your breath. That nice oceanic sound as you breathe in and out. So noticing the sound of your breath, feeling your breath. Again, a nice full breath in. When you breathe in, just feel the lengthening in your spine, breath rising upward to fill up your lungs. And as you exhale, draw navel inward towards your spine to engage your abdominal muscles. Of course, we call this the abdominal lock. Nice engagement, helping us to connect to center. Helps us with posturing, alignment, balance, and strength. Helps us to move and to be in stillness. Go ahead and take 3 more breaths in and out as we now prepare our bodies to move. And when you're ready, inhale and extend your arms overhead. Treat it like a nice stretch. Reach all the way up. Exhale, we'll fold forward, so a good hinge from your hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to as you make your way down towards your toes. Now at first you might not touch your toes, but that's okay. Maybe your hands just land here at your shins. Then inhale, slide your hands maybe up to your knees or thighs to extend your spine, nice and long and flat. Exhale, let's go back down to a forward fold. Let's hold here for a moment. Let's begin that process of stretching and lengthening out the hamstrings. You might even shift your weight forward just a little bit towards your toes. That'll just activate the backs of your legs a little bit more. Okay, we're not going to hold here too long. We'll be coming back to some poses like this that will help lengthen and stretch the backs of the legs. This is just a nice introduction. Now go ahead and shift your weight back towards your heels. Bend your knees. Feel like you're going to sit down into a low chair. Look forward. Take your arms out to the side. Then inhale, stand up tall. Reach up into the air. And exhale, bring your arms down by your side. And that's our half salute to the sun. We'll just pause here, take a breath or two. We'll do that same sequence again, just making it flow. When you're ready, inhale, float your arms up into the air, reach through your fingertips. Exhale, lead with your heart, fold forward with soft knees, guiding your way down to a comfortable fold. Inhale, rise up halfway, long extension of your spine. Exhale, back down we go. Holding just very briefly, already shifting your weight back into your heels, bend your knees. Look forward, inhale, sweep your arms out and up, reach into the sky as you stand up tall. Exhale, arms back down by your side. Just hold here in stillness for a moment. Take a couple of breaths in and out. Noticing the sound and the feeling of your breath. Good. Let's go ahead and continue. We'll add on to our sequence, moving into Series A of our Sun Salutation. Inhale, reach into the sky. Exhale, fold forward, a good hinge from your hips, bend your knees, make your way down. Inhale, rise up halfway, feel the top of your head lead you forward. Exhale, bend your knees enough, round your back, so you can bring your hands all the way down to the floor, and then step both of your feet back until you're in a high push-up position, plank pose. Let's pause for a couple breaths, just feel the energy and strength in your body. As we hold here, of course you're on your toes, but you want to feel like the backs of your legs, in this case, your calves and your hamstrings, feel like they're lifting up towards the ceiling. Take a breath in. Exhale, bend your knees a little, then send your hips up into the air. This will guide you into downward facing dog. Feel free to adjust your feet, maybe your hands if you need to on your mat to help settle into the pose. Let's continue some stretching and lengthening for the calf muscles by pedaling the feet. You might press one heel down, then the other. While one heel is pressing down, the other heel lifts, so you'll feel a stretch through your toes. Your calves get a nice lengthening here. Just pedaling an imaginary bicycle. Letting your knees bend, your hips might even shift side to side a bit. And then come back to stillness, holding your down dog. Take a nice full breath in, fill up your lungs. As you exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet back up to the top of your mat. Inhale to extend your spine. Exhale, fold. Again, weight shift into your heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Come up to standing, reach high. This exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. Right here, good. Let's hold for a moment, another breath or two. That was Series A. Let's go ahead and move right into Series B. Here we go. Inhale, extend the arms into the sky. Exhale, take chair pose or a chair-like position. Feel the weight shift back into your heels. Feel like your hips are reaching back to the back edge of your mat. Breathe in as you extend out through your arms. Exhale, fold forward. Feel that lengthening through your back and your legs. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, bend your knees and bring your hands to the ground. Walk, step, or even hop both feet back into plank pose. Another pause in plank, same sensation. Feel the backs of your legs in addition to maybe your hips or your backside. Feel like they're lifting up towards the ceiling. Let's breathe in. Exhale, bend your elbows, squeeze them in towards your ribs as you lower your chest down towards the floor. Chaturanga Dandasana. Take a back bend. Inhale to an up dog or even cobra pose. Exhale onto your toes, lifting hips into the air. Downward facing dog. Let's continue. Inhale, extend right leg up behind you. Reach long. Exhale, guide right foot to the top of the mat. Turn left heel to the floor behind you. Put some weight in that back foot so you can easily float both arms up into the air facing forward, Warrior One. Exhale, folding again, bringing your hands back down to the ground. Let's step back into plank pose. Again, bending elbows, lower your way down, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra, which is perfect for this. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right away, let's go to the other side. Inhale, extend left leg up. Good energy through your toes. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel planted into the floor behind you. Put some weight back there. Inhale, float up, facing forward, Warrior One. Arms up into the air. Exhale, hinge at the hips, folding to bring hands back down to the ground. Step back, plank pose. Come on down. Finishing your sequence. Inhale, up dog. And an exhale, downward facing dog. Hold for a moment. Take a breath or two. We're going to take a seat. Go ahead and kneel down. Briefly sit back into hero pose, but then slide off of your heels to take a seat on your mat. Swing the legs out in front of you. Scoot forward so you're sitting in the center of your mat, and go ahead and lie down onto your back. We're going to bend our knees here, planting the feet into the floor. Pause here for a moment, taking a few deep breaths. We're just going to prepare our bodies to move into bridge pose. Here we go. Take a nice full breath in, fill up your lungs. Exhale, draw belly button down towards spine. Even feel your low back press into the ground. Towards the end of that exhale, lift your hips right up off the mat into the air. Now with your upper body, you might want to try to get your shoulders and arms a bit underneath you. Now you can keep your arms bent at 90 degrees, and as you do so, press your triceps and elbows down into the mat. That should allow your chest, your belly to lift and open a little bit more. Your hips might rise a little higher, and we're still taking some deep breaths here. Just a nice opening for the whole front side of your body. And what's interesting about this pose is that pretty much the entire body is engaged. Since we're working hamstrings, pay attention to your hamstrings at this moment because they are engaged, especially as you're pressing your heels into the floor to lift your hips. Your glute muscles and your hamstrings are firing up. Take another breath in. Exhaling, wiggle the toes forward, extend your arms up into the air, and roll your way down to the ground. Now we're just going to hug the right knee into chest. As you hold on to this right knee, extend your left leg out in front of you onto the floor. We're going to do a stretch here by extending the right leg up towards the ceiling. Now we're just holding on to the leg. Now if you happen to have a strap, you can actually wrap the strap around the bottom of your foot. If you happen to have one. Otherwise, just hold on to your leg. Perfectly fine if your knee needs to bend here. Mine is bent, but I can still feel a gentle lengthening and stretch down through the hamstring. I'm flexing the foot, feeling the heel push away or up towards the ceiling. That too will just help to bring some awareness to the hamstring. All right, we're done with this side. Just go ahead and bend your knee. Let's extend the right leg out onto the floor and then hug left knee in. Same thing. When you're ready, just extend this left leg. The leg might be absolutely straight or with a nice bend in the knee. My knee is bent. But if I just hold on to my calf muscle and just flex the foot, heel reaching towards the ceiling, but sending my toes over my head a little bit, just a little bit, I feel that stretch quality in the hamstring. So just pay attention to what this feels like for you. Two more breaths. And when you're done, just bend the knee, hug it in towards chest, and extend your left leg out onto the floor. Let's just stretch the entire body. Maybe point your toes and reach for the front of the room as you take your arms and reach behind you, lengthening. One more breath in and out. Then bring both knees into chest. Start a rocking sensation forward and back. A good exhale so you can rock your way up to seated so we can come to boat pose. So perhaps doing this with the feet lifted, feet flexed, strong legs. Knees can be bent here as well, holding onto the backs of the legs as you extend up through the spine. Couple breaths here. We do want to feel the breath rise up to our lungs, exhaling to engage belly. Let's move, breathing in. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front, in hop or step back plank pose. Hold, feel the whole body fire up. Take a shortcut to down dog. Bend your knees a little, send your hips into the air. Let's continue our flow. Let's inhale, extend right leg up behind. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. Left heel plants into the floor. Inhale, rise, warrior one. And our exhale here to warrior two. Let's just hold here for a moment. I like to take my feet a little bit wider so I can lunge a little bit deeper. That's just me. Just feel your way into a comfortable pose. Now side angle. We're going to reach out over the right leg, angled upper body. Rotate your arm so your right arm is reaching downward while your left arm reaches up into the air. Couple breaths here, several breaths. This is a great pose. Just help open up the hips, opens up through the front side of the body. We'll take a breath in and an exhale to turn. Bring hands down to the floor. Let's step back, plank pose, hold. Let's take another shortcut to down dog. Just bend your knees, send your hips into the sky. When you're ready, inhale, extend left leg up into the air. And exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel plants into the mat. Inhale, float your way up. Warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Settling in, make the adjustments with your feet and legs if you need to. Settle into the posture. Then side angle, reaching out. Angle the upper half of the body. Rotate your arms, reaching downward and upward. Good extension through the arms. Deep breaths. We're breathing in and an exhale to turn. Let's bring hands to the floor. Step back, plank pose, hold. Take another shortcut to down dog. All right, another lunge sequence. We're going to inhale, take right leg up into the air, reach. Hold it here for a moment. Feel your left heel press towards the floor. It doesn't have to touch the floor, but a pressing downward sensation so you feel some lengthening through perhaps the calf muscle, maybe the hamstring. And then rise up onto tiptoes of that left foot as you extend the right leg up a little bit higher or longer. Inhale. Exhale, let's bring right foot to the top of the mat, stepping through. We're going to high lunge. So left heel will remain lifted. All 10 toes are pointing forward. Find that balance so you can easily hinge from hips, rising up to our posture. Let's hold for a couple breaths here. Squeezing to inner thighs, one to engage the legs, but also to help stabilize the pose. Follow me, because both knees are probably bent. So we're going to rise up high enough so we can straighten both legs as best as you can. Then pivot left heel to the floor as you turn sideways and bring your arms down to parallel. So we're getting prepped and ready for triangle pose. So both legs are straight, your tall arms extended out to the side. Let's reach out over the straight right leg, another angled body, rotate the arm so right hand maybe comes to knee or thigh or even lower towards calf or ankle bone. Left hand reaching into the air. Let's hold for several breaths so you can experience the lengthening sensation that's happening in the right hamstring. Big band of muscles there. And they tend to get tight. And if you're an athlete, like a runner or a skier or ride bikes, that's a hard-working muscle. All right, to come out of the pose, you're going to bend your right knee, a nice lunge here, to come back up to a warrior two. Just hold warrior two. Then a windmill, left hand up and over, turn. Bring hands to the floor and just step back into down dog, both feet on the ground. Let's do that same thing other side. So we'll inhale, extend left leg up into the air, reach long, but pay attention to the right foot on the floor. Press right heel towards the floor so you can feel that lengthening stretch quality in the right calf muscle. Then rise up onto your tiptoes. You should lift a little higher here too. The hips rise up a little bit. That's going to help you with that step through. Breathe in. Exhale, step through. Left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel stays lifted. We're rising to high lunge. All 10 toes pointing forward. We're reaching up into the air. Both knees are bent. Lunging deeply. Hugging inner thighs towards center line to engage the legs. Helping you to balance. Let's rise up to straighten both legs. Pivot right heel to the floor. You'll turn sideways. Arms come down to parallel. We're prepped for triangle. When you're ready, reach out over that left leg. Rotate the upper body. Left hand down, right hand up. Now you certainly can go low. I typically don't go too low in this pose. That's just me. You can certainly reach down lower towards the knee, calf, or ankle. Just as long as you feel that lengthening quality in the hamstring. Now I feel this kind of the upper portion of the hamstring, kind of the meatier part of the muscle area. Nice stretching there. 2 more breaths. When we're ready to come out of the pose, bend the left knee a whole lot. So we have this lunge that helps us leverage our way back up to warrior 2. Pause. Then windmill, right hand up and over. Let's turn, bring hands to the floor. Step back, plank. This time we will come down, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. All right, we're going to take another seat. So you can just kneel down to take your seat, or you can hop forward, cross your legs to take your seat. Okay, we're just going to extend the legs out front here, so you might need to scoot back so you have some room for your legs. We're going to sit up nice and tall. So hero pose to begin. I'm sorry, not hero. Staff pose. This is staff pose. So flexing the feet. So the legs are active, hands on the floor by your hips. Push into the floor to help extend spine. So we form this nice L shape in the body, a nice right angle. Roll the shoulders back and even squeeze your shoulder blades together to engage your upper back muscles. You're also pulling belly in, so it's a nice engagement and support of the body. Engage low belly and engage upper back. All right, see if you can keep this tall, lengthened spine. As you inhale, extend both arms up into the air. Exhale, slowly start to hinge forward, and the arms can naturally come down to the legs right here. So we've already got a nice angle in the upper body. We're going to inhale, lengthening through the spine at this angle. Exhale, hinge forward a bit more. Getting a little bit more of that stretch in the hamstrings. Again, you're welcome to use a strap, wrapping the strap around the bottoms of the feet, or you can just keep your hands just resting here on your legs. If you can reach your toes, go ahead and reach your toes. Let's hold here for several more breaths. Perfectly fine to keep the spine either straight or let it round a little bit. That will just add a little bit of a stretch in your back. Now, if you happen to be able to touch your toes, take your peace fingers, okay? Your peace fingers, and loop or hook your peace fingers around your big toe. Another inhale to help extend spine a little. Exhale as you're able, hinging a little bit more. Now I'm not moving much at all. I think I've kind of met the end of my posture and I'm getting a full stretch in this position. So just kind of check in to notice and feel where you are and notice how it feels for you. And if you can't touch your toes, perfectly fine, no worries at all. All right, we're going to release. Inhale, rise up tall. Take your arms up into the air, big stretch. And exhale, bring your arms down by your side. We're going to lean back so you can bend your knees. Right here, just moving into boat pose, leaning back enough so the feet just float up into the air. You can hold on to the legs to help extend spine. Deep breath in, fill up your lungs. Exhale, engage belly. If you want, you can always free up the legs. Reach out with the hands. Let's flow. Breathe in. Exhale, cross legs, hands out in front. Hopper step back, plank pose. Chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, up dog. This is a nice counter pose to the forward fold. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's just do a nice flow here. Inhale, extend right leg up. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat, warrior 1. Rising when you're ready. Exhale, warrior 2. We're going to take this right into side angle. Reach out, tip it over, rotate the arms. Once here, we'll breathe in, reach high and low. Exhale, turn, bring your hands to the floor. Now we're going to take this back to down dog. So slide your right foot back and up into the air. Hold for a moment. Press left heel towards the floor. Then rise up onto tiptoes. Be sure the right leg is really extending. As you exhale, step through for a high lunge. Left heel stays lifted. Find that balance. Rise up. Once you're tall here, pause. And then keep rising until both legs are straight. Pivot left heel to the floor, turn sideways, arms come down to parallel. Hold here for a moment because we're doing a different pose. Now with the right foot, you're going to turn it so it's facing the same direction as your left foot. Okay, so you'll be sideways on your mat. And I call this a star shape. All right, we're going to breathe in, reach out through the arms, feel tall. Exhale, pull belly in, bend your knees, and then slowly fold, bringing hands down towards the floor or right down to the ground. You can even bring in a stack of blocks here if you want to. We're going to inhale, rise to fingertips so you can extend your spine. Then exhale, fold. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Even adjust the distance between the feet. I'm going to take mine a little wider. This too really taps into our legs, all portions of the legs. So you might initially feel this in the hamstrings, especially if you send some of your weight forward towards your hands or big toes. But this also targets the outer portions of the legs as well as the inside of the legs. So it's a great posture. Hold for a couple more breaths. If you happen to be in a pretty deep fold, soften it up a little bit, just a little bit. Stay low, stay folded. Then walk your hands over towards your right foot. Turn the right foot so it's facing forward. Rise up onto your tiptoes behind you. So we're in a runner's lunge. And bring your left knee to the ground. Your left knee to the ground. So you're just kneeling like this. And then bring both hands up to right thigh. Just hold here for a moment. Now we're just going to tuck the toes behind us back there. You're going to inhale, take the arms up into the air. As we exhale, we're going to lift and come at an angle. Can you see me? I'm reaching out at about 45 degrees. Straight line down through the backside of my body from fingertips right down to that back heel. I'm going to push forward and just step into chair pose. Breathe in. Exhale, dive forward back down towards toes here. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, hands to the ground. Step back, plank pose, come down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's do that same flow on the other side. Inhale, extend left leg up. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel plants. It's warrior one, rising high. Exhale, opening warrior two. Side angle pose. When you're ready, reach out. Rotate your arms. Inhale, reach high and low. Exhale, turn, hands to the floor. Going back to down dog. So slide the left foot back and up into the air. Hold for a moment so you can feel your right heel press to the floor. Stretch through the calf muscle. Rise up onto tiptoes to grow a little higher. Lifting left leg higher. When you exhale, step through to a high lunge. Right heel stays lifted. Find that balance. Rise up, high lunge. Straight up and down with the upper body. Lift to straighten both legs. Pivot right heel to the floor. Arms come down to parallel. Okay, turn left foot. So it's facing the same direction as right foot, creating your star shape. We're going to inhale, reach out. Get tall, exhale, pull belly in, bend your knees, and then fold, bringing fingertips or palms right down to the ground or a stack of blocks. Inhale, rise up to fingertips to extend spine. Exhale, folding again. Make some adjustments. Take the feet wider if you want to. Bend the knees a little bit more. Shift the weight forward slightly. So there's more weight in the hands and the toes. Feel the stretch and lengthening quality through the backs of the legs, but also pay attention to what's happening on the inside and outside portions of the legs. Few more breaths here. If you happen to be in a deep forward fold, soften it up just a little bit so you have some mobility, so you can walk your hands over towards left foot, turn left foot forward on your mat, rise up onto your tiptoes behind you so we're in a runner's lunge. Gently bring right knee to the ground. Bring your hands up to your thigh. So we're nice and tall here. For a moment, you can actually lengthen that back foot just to get a little stretch for the top portion of the foot and the ankle. We're also going to Tuck the toes again because we're getting ready to re-lift. So we're going to inhale, take the arms up into the air. Exhale, engage your leg muscles and core muscles so you can lift up to this angled upper body. Okay, reaching, extending, and a little push from the back foot to step forward into chair pose. Stand up tall, extending through spine, extended mountain. Exhale, bring your hands together and down to your heart. Very nice. All right, so we're going to be building a piece of that into our sequence. We're still putting it all together. I'm just going to adjust my mat. You can get a sip of water if you need to. And let's continue. Now for this next piece, you might need or want to use some blocks or a pillow, and I'll show you. I'm just going to keep mine handy, kind of right next to the mat there, okay? So let's just come back up to mountain pose. Together here, we'll inhale, reach into the sky. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, bend your knees, hands to the floor, step back into plank pose. Hold plank. Bring both knees to the floor. Sit back into hero pose. Hold here for a moment. Okay, we're doing this on purpose. Okay, so a nice lengthening through. Actually, you're getting a lengthening through the quadriceps, so the top portion of the leg. It extends down to the knee area, and then down below, right here, a stretch through the top portion of the foot and ankle. Let's come back out to hands and knees, tuck your toes, and lift the knees into the air, downward facing dog. Let's inhale, extend right leg up. Hold. Reach, extend, nice and high. We're going to add a little motion here. Okay, we're going towards standing splits. What you'll do is walk your hands back towards left foot as the right leg extends up into the air behind you. Now I have a wall behind me, so my knee is bent. Okay, but imagine extending that right leg. It doesn't have to lift straight up towards the ceiling, just maybe long out behind you. So we're feeling that stretch and lengthening and strength in the left hamstring. Now we're going to walk the hands back out to the front of the mat, back into down dog with the right leg still in the air. Bring right foot to the top of the mat. Stay here in a runner's lunge. Let's bring left knee to the ground. Now, we're going to sit back into that half hero. So as we sit back towards left heel, we get to extend right leg. This is where your blocks or a block can come in handy. You can actually, you probably can't see this, but you can tuck a block or two underneath that right cheek so it doesn't put too much pressure on this leg that you're sitting on. Or you can kind of be propped up on your hands or fingertips here, just to help with that. And as you're able, this leg is straight, right leg is straight, maybe a flexed foot or even pointed toes, you can decide. And then a little forward fold. That's really going to emphasize the stretch. So you can call it half splits, okay, or half hero. All right, we're going to use our fingers to help lift ourselves back up to this posture that we did earlier. Tuck toes behind you. Inhale, float the arms up into the air. Exhale, lift to this angled lunge. Step forward to a chair pose. Inhale in chair. Exhale, dive out of chair down towards toes, forward fold. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step back, plank pose. Come on down, chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Let's inhale, take left leg into the air. Let's go to our standing splits. Really energize that left leg that's in the sky so you can feel that lifting sensation so you can walk your hands back towards right foot. Fingertips can just stay on the floor. You can even bring in some stacked blocks. Don't worry too much really about the left leg. For me, I have a wall in the way, but it's really about the leg you're standing on here too. Walk your hands back out in front, back to a down dog, and then left foot to the top of the mat for a runner's lunge. Bring right knee to the ground. We're going to sit back to our half splits. This way you can actually see how I'm going to use the blocks. So I'm going to bring my blocks in under this left cheek so I can just kind of sit up a little higher so it doesn't put too much pressure on my right knee and ankle. The left leg is extended here, flexed foot or pointed toes, and if you'd like, hinging out over it. Three more breaths. When you're ready, it's going to rise back up to our kind of that kneeling lunge here. Hands on thigh. Get tall up top. Tuck your toes behind you. We'll inhale, float the arms up into the air. Exhale, lift into our angled lunge. Step forward, chair pose. Stand up tall, extended mountain, reach into the sky. This exhale, go ahead and just bring your arms down by your side. Very nice. All right, we're just going to add one little piece and then we've got a whole sequence. All right, so here's what we'll do. We're going to inhale, take the arms up into the sky. Exhale, swan dive. Take monkey pose, rise up halfway. Exhale, fold. We're going to stay in a forward fold. Couple things that we'll do here. Just as we did at the very beginning of our practice, shift your weight more toward your toes. You might find that you have to grip your mat with your toes so you don't fall over. And feel your hips lifting up a little higher. As you're here, inhale, try to extend your spine. It doesn't mean to lift necessarily, just try to get longer through your torso. Exhale, pull belly in, and maybe draw yourself down a little deeper. To help with that folding, maybe place your hands or arms behind the legs. Carefully draw yourself down. Maybe the top of your head is pointing towards the floor. Okay, shift the weight back towards heels a little bit so there's a little bit more mobility. You can even tap your toes. Now, take your peace fingers and then again hook your peace fingers around big toes. Bend your knees more if you can't reach your toes. Keep the fingers looped around the toes and inhale and try to extend the spine. Just feel like you're trying to go forward. And then exhale, draw yourself down. It's like you're just using the hooked toes to help draw yourself downward. Do that one more time. Inhale, extending through spine. Feel your hamstrings here. Exhale, fold. All right, let's release the hooks around the toes. Weight shift back into the heels. Bend your knees, look forward. Extend your arms out to the side, stand up, reach up into the sky. Hold the extended mountain pose for another full breath in and out. Inhale, reach higher. Then exhale, arms down by your side, because that's a long time in a forward fold, so I just want you to feel that nice extension there. All righty, let's start building a sequence. Again, get a sip of water if you'd like. I'm just adjusting my mat. Back to mountain pose. Take a few breaths here. Inhale, reach into the sky. Exhale, fold forward, soft knees. When you fold, take peace fingers, loop them around big toes. Inhale, extend spine. Exhale, release big toes, place hands on the floor, hop or step back, both feet plank, come down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, extend right leg up behind you. And then right foot to the top of the mat, warrior one. Left heel plants into the floor, reach out, rise up. Exhale, opening warrior two. Let's take a side angle pose here. Reach out, rotate the arms, right hand down, left hand up. Inhale, nice extension. Exhale, turn, hands to the floor. We're going back to down dog. Right foot sweeps back and up into the air. Keep that good lift. Walk your hands towards left foot for standing splits. Emphasis on the left leg, the leg you're standing on. Getting a great stretch there. Then walk your hands forward on your mat. Return to down dog. Right leg extending back behind you. Right foot to the top of the mat. High lunge here. Rising up. Once you're tall, keep rising to straighten both legs. Pivot left heel to the floor, turning sideways, arms down to parallel. Swivel the right foot so all 10 toes are pointing in the same direction here. We're in our star shape. Inhale, reach out, get tall. Exhale, pull belly button in, bend your knees, and fold. Once you're down, you're going to inhale, extend spine. Exhale, fold again. You might be able to go a little deeper as the legs are getting a little looser, a little bit more flexible. A few breaths here. Again, that little weight shift towards hands and toes puts more emphasis on the backs of the legs. Stay low, but walk your hands over towards right foot. Spin the right foot towards the front. Rise up onto tiptoes behind you. Bring the left knee to the ground. Sit back, half splits. What you may want to do here is press into the ground with the fingertips to extend spine. Exhale, fold out over the right leg. Ooh, that's a deep stretch. Feel that. Rise up to our kneeling lunge. Tuck toes behind you. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, rise up to our angled lunge. Step forward, chair. Stand up tall, extended mountain. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive. Okay, you're going to loop your peace fingers around big toes. Inhale, extend spine. Exhale, release the toes, hands to the floor. Walk or step back into plank pose. Come down. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Basic flow, basic lunge. Inhale, left leg into the sky. Left foot to the top of the mat. Warrior one. Plant the right heel down behind you. Rise up high. Exhale, open, warrior two. Side angle, reach out. Rotate arms, reach up and down. Inhale as you do so. Exhale, turn, hands to the floor. Going back to down dog, sweep the left foot back and up into the air. As that leg is lifting, walk hands towards right foot. Standing splits. Feel this in the right leg. Walk the hands back out in front. Left leg is still lifted. High lunge, so stepping left foot through. High lunge, right heel stays lifted. Rise up. Once you're tall, keep rising to straighten the legs. Pivot right heel to the floor, turn sideways, arms down to parallel. Create your star shape. So left foot turns so all 10 toes are facing the same direction. Inhale, reach out, get tall. Exhale, pull belly in, bend your knees and fold. Keep the knees soft here. Inhale, extend spine. Exhale, fold. Again, keeping the knees slightly bent. A weight shift towards hands and toes. Emphasis on the backs of the legs. Even feel like your hips are lifting up towards the ceiling. Another big deep breath in and out. Then walk your hands over towards left foot as the toes spin forward. Rise up onto tiptoes behind you. Gently set the right knee onto the ground. Sit back. Half splits. Once you're seated, use your blocks if you need to. Extending spine, inhale. Exhale, fold. Holding for a couple breaths. You're really getting that nice stretch. Okay, we're going to rise up to our kneeling lunge. Tuck your toes behind you. Inhale, reach into the sky. Exhale to lift, engaging all your muscles into the angled lunge here. Stepping forward, chair pose. We're going to do the whole sequence again, both sides. Stand up tall, reach into the air, extended mountain. Exhale, swan dive. We're going to really make this flow. Loop your peace fingers around big toes. Inhale, lift to extend spine. Exhale, release the toes, hands to the floor. Hop or step back, plank pose, come down. Go at your own pace. It's okay if you're a little behind, no worries. Up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, extend right leg up into the air. Right foot to the top of the mat, warrior one. Take your time if you need to. Rise up high. Exhale, open, warrior two. Side angle pose. Reach out, rotate the arms. Reach up and down, inhale. Exhale, turn, hands to the floor up front. Take it back to down dog. As that right leg is sweeping up into the air, start walking hands already towards left foot.
Heel presses into the floor. Feel that stretch through the left leg. Walk the hands back out in front. Right leg extends. Right foot to the top of the mat, high lunge. Find your centering, rise when you're ready. Once you're tall, lift to extend both legs straight as can be. Pivot left heel to the floor, arms down to the side. Come to your star shape, so toes face forward. Inhale, reach out, get tall. Exhale, pull belly in, bend your knees and fold. Stay folded, stay folded. Walk hands over towards right foot. Rise up onto tiptoes behind you. Bring left knee to the ground. Sit back for your half splits. All the way down to get that nice stretch through the right hamstring. Rise back up to our kneeling lunge. Tuck your toes behind you. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, engage your muscles to rise up to an angled body. Step forward, chair. Rise up tall, extended mountain. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive. Get those peace fingers ready. Loop them around your big toes. Inhale, extend spine. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step back, plank, come down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, extend left leg up, basic flow. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat, right heel plants. Inhale, float up. Exhale, open, warrior two. Side angle, reach out, rotate arms. Inhale, reach high and low. Exhale, hands to the floor, back to down dog. Left foot sweeps back and up into the air. As it's lifting, start walking hands towards right foot. Standing splits, feel it? You're kind of folding over this right leg. Walk the hands back out in front, extending the left leg. Then left foot to the top of the mat, high lunge. Find your center to float up. Get nice and tall, straighten both legs. Pivot right heel to the floor, turn sideways, arms to parallel, star shape. So get the toes all facing the same direction. Inhale, reach out, get tall. Exhale, engage your belly, bend your knees and fold. Fold and stay all the way down. Finish that whole fold position. Walk your hands over towards left foot. Turn toes forward. Rise up on tiptoes behind you. Gently set the right knee onto the ground. Sit back, half splits. Head is coming down towards knee for the stretch. Right there. Feel it? We're rising back up to our kneeling lunge. Tuck toes behind you. Let's get both arms up into the air. Inhale. Exhale, engage the muscles so you can rise up to an angled lunge. Step forward, chair. Stand up tall, extended mountain. We're still moving. Exhale, swan dive. Just touch your toes. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, hands to the floor. Hop or step back, plank pose. Last chaturanga, coming down. Up dog. Exhale, down dog. Hold and down dog. That was our sequence. Dynamic. Yes? We're taking a seat. Hop forward, cross your legs to take a seat. Once you're seated, just keep rolling all the way down onto your back. And hug knees to chest. We finally get to rest. That's a lot of motion. Check in with your breathing. Notice if you happen to be out of breath. And that's fine. That was a lot of movement. I'm out of breath too. So just return to your deep breathing to help calm and settle the body. I'm just adding little circles here in my legs. We're going to do what we did earlier. We're going to do another leg extension. So keep hold of the right knee as you extend the left leg out onto the floor. Then extend right leg up towards ceiling. Maybe it does go a little straighter with all that hamstring work we did. So maybe it does extend a little straighter. Several more breaths. Just holding on to the leg here. And again, you can always grab a strap and wrap it around the bottom of the foot to help with this pose. 2 more breaths. And then we'll bend the knee and extend that right leg out onto the floor. Let's bring in left knee. And then when you're ready, extending that leg. Again, checking in with the flexibility and mobility of this leg. I'm finding I can now extend this leg. The first time we were here, my left knee was very bent, but now I can straighten out the whole leg. After all that flowing and moving, good blood flow and oxygen to these areas of the body. Two more breaths. All right, let's go ahead and bend the left knee. Bring both knees into chest. All right, happy baby pose. So taking the knees wide, taking the feet up into the air, and grabbing hold of the bottoms of the feet if you can, or even just holding on to your ankles. Gently press down where the knees, of course, are bent, and feeling as if the knees are moving down towards the floor on either side of your body, getting into the hips, but you might even feel this in your hamstrings a little bit here too. And I like to rock left and right just to get a little bit more into the hip joints. A little rocking sensation to massage the back muscles. Let's do another hip opener here. Reclining cobbler's pose. First version is to just press the soles of the feet together, but keep hold of your feet in your hands. And you want to gently press your heels down towards your pelvis while the legs or knees feel like they're pushing forward towards the front edge of your mat. Again, this will open the hips. This should also take the stretch out of the hamstrings. We already did all that lengthening and stretching. Now the knees are bent, and so we don't have to feel all that stretch that's happening in the hamstrings anymore. Another version of this is a little bit more relaxing, so you can set the feet onto the ground. Reclining cobbler's pose, second variation. Soles of the feet are still touching. Knees, of course, are bent. The weight of your legs just feel heavy as they reach down towards the floor, creating a stretch and lengthening through the inner thighs. Very good. And now check in with the breath. Maybe you're not so much out of breath anymore. And we're getting ready, moving towards relaxation. All right, let's bring the knees together. Give yourself another hug. Let's take a twist. So take the knees over to the left side as you extend your right arm over to the right side. A little rotation in the spine. Deep breaths. Three more breaths on this first side. Taking your time to return to center. Pause and center for a moment, just so everything realigns, comes back to center. Then take knees over to the other side, getting your twist. Very nice. How about three more breaths? When you're ready, just return to center. Again, just hold center, hugging knees in towards body. And then when you're ready, extend your legs out in front of you. Arms just down by your side. Settling into Shavasana, so everything just melts. Complete release and relaxation. Now, sometimes lying flat on your back is not comfortable, so if you need some extra padding or support, maybe you have a blanket or pillow that you would like to use here, please feel free. Again, lying on your back isn't always very comfortable, so if it feels better today for you to roll onto your side, go ahead and lie on your side, or even come up to a seated position, and you can just come to a relaxing, meditative, seated posture if you like. Wherever you are, maybe just closing your eyes, or just soften your eyes. Noticing your breath. Settling into this restful state of mind and body. Keep checking in with your breath. Sometimes as our bodies relax and our minds relax, actually our minds begin to wander when our bodies relax. So if you notice you're thinking about what you're going to be doing after your yoga practice, just notice that, finish the thought, and then come back to this moment. Maybe taking a deep breath in and out, helping you to reconnect. Feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. Even as I end the practice, feel free to stay just as you are. Return to the awareness of your breath, this time taking 5 slow, deep breaths. Filling yourself up. And as you're taking these deep breaths, allowing movement to return to your body. That might start with a simple wiggling of your fingers and your toes. Feeling movement come into your hands and feet. And let that movement just travel up your legs, your arms, right into the center of your body, your chest and pelvis. Then up again through your neck and your head. And when you're complete with your 5th breath, move in slow motion, as slow as can be, rolling onto either side of your body. A nurturing pose. And still moving in slow motion from your nurturing posture, lift yourself up so you can come to seated. Maybe sitting on a pillow or blanket or a block. Perhaps crossing your legs. Feel that nice extension through your spine. Arms can just relax down by your side. Hands can just rest in your lap. Find your breath. And one more movement together. We'll inhale. Extend your arms up into the air. Big stretch. As you exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. Hold here in stillness, paying attention to the steady flow of your breath.
And as we come to the close of this portion of our journey together, we bow saying, Namaste.